Hey there, so here we go, another video for the Bearhawk Saga. I got my fuselage back from the sandblaster and painter here a week ago, and here it is. It's all done. 2 coats of epoxy, 2-part epoxy primer, SF80 from Superflight System 7, and a 2-part polyurethane top coat from Sherwin-Williams. It's an industrial coating. And you can see also up on top there have the tail feathers, doors and other whatnot hanging there. When I brought them back from the sandblaster and painter, they're still a little bit soft because they still needed to cure. About a week is a good time to let it harden up and really get really tough. And if you look at it now, it's really nice on there. It's really nice and tough. But just like anything else, I got more to do. I still have to paint my control sticks, my rudder pedals, and all sorts of little brackets and push rods and things for the door actuation mechanisms, but I don't really have any place to paint. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to go ahead and make a portable paint booth and be able to paint those little bits and pieces using the 2-part epoxy. And the stuff is pretty toxic. You know, everybody talks about waterborne systems and whatnot, but I'm pretty stuck on Superflight System 7. I think it's an excellent product. I'm old school, saying if it don't stink, it don't stick, and it's a lot more, I guess, forgiving of anybody that has not so much talent when it comes to paint. You know, you can mix the parts together, spray it with a good spray gun, and then you'll get a good product regardless. But anyway, so I still have to have a way to eliminate the fumes in the shop because the fumes are toxic, and even though I'll be wearing a respirator when I'm spraying, still need to get the fumes out of the shop. So I came up with this. And see, here's the fan in the back, but this is basically my little portable paint booth. I looked around quite a bit online to try to find a DIY paint booth, and I didn't really find anything. I found a lot of different examples of tables used for sanding, downdraft tables for sanding, and also downdraft tables for welding, but I really didn't see anything for painting, not really specifically for painting, because a lot of the downdraft tables for sanding have very small holes, very hard surface, because you're working on your particular project on the surface itself. It needs to be very solid surface to work on. I just need something to evacuate fumes. So this is what I came up with. This is my own design that I got. And we'll go over it here in just a little bit about the little different aspects of the design. The first thing you can see is on wheels. I can go ahead and roll the sucker around, and it's got a kind of like a backboard there. You can come around this side, and you can see I've got a furnace fan, and it's mounted in a little bracket that I designed. It's I got this thing off of Craigslist. It was a rusty old piece of junk when I got it, but I got it cheap and it ran good, so I just went ahead and restored it, and then went ahead and made this bracket to hold it. Of course, it's got flexible ducting, and then it goes outside through this little piece of wood that I put in place of a window here in my shop garage door. So what do we got going on here? So the whole reason is just to make sure that I have some way to go ahead and eliminate all those toxic fumes. Like I said, I'll be wearing a respirator, but still need to go ahead and try to get the fumes out of the shop as best I can. So here's my control stick assembly. I just put this on here just for reference. We'll go ahead and take that off. You can see the top deck is just some expanded steel. Let me go ahead and put this off to the side here so it doesn't fall off. And you can see it's the flattened kind. It doesn't have the cupped edges, so it's not really looking for any traction. It's just looking for airflow on this. And it's removable. You can take it out. And also it has this backboard here. And what I can do with this is it kind of helps channel all the fumes and everything down here towards the filters. And also I can put a dowel or maybe a 2 right across the top from one end to another and hang parts here and spray the parts and then that way it'll help illuminate the fumes here. Another feature of this little table that I've got is this whole thing, because it is a back, kind of like a back support or whatever, that you can take it apart, and you can, just by lifting the sides, drop it down. It's kind of hard to do this with the camera, and then doing that, so I can go ahead and fold that down, and it doesn't take up as much room here in the shop. You can see it just folds back like that. I've got little window latches on the bottom that help support it once it's up in the up position. But you can see that that's the whole idea here. I can just go back up here and lift it. Yep. Hang on a second. Whoa, there we go. And all I got to do is just put it in here, and you can see the little latches. That's how it goes in. Just slides there with a little pin. On this side here, that OSB flexes quite a bit, so I can flop it around no problem. I can do that. If you notice, this top is in two parts. I can take this whole top part off, including the top and everything. This is just sitting on here with some 2x3s, and you can see that there's some. Take that expanded steel out. See, these are the edges here. These are the little guide blocks that I've got for helping keep this together, in case I wanted to take it apart. And then here's the furnace filters. They're really easy, just some Home Depot specials. And all I got is just a slanted bottom on here. These can be taken out and replaced. And they don't fit all the way across. I couldn't find any 12x18s at my local Home Depot, so I had 12x20 and I cut one down. You can see there's the inlet for the fan. I forgot how many CFM it has. It has quite a bit. It blows a lot of air. It's quite effective. And then for the outside, where it doesn't go in here, I've got the little chunks of expanded steel that I had to cut off from the piece that I had. And I'll just put just a little chunk of filtering material over the top of it. You can see the filters, all they do, all you have to do is just put them in there. There's a little 1x down here. Lean it up, flop it forward, and that's it. That's all you need. Have a lot of filter area, because you know, as you paint, it's going to eventually clog up with paint. So the more filter area you have, the less time that you have to, or less times that you have to change it. A little shelf on the bottom for storing things. Again, all this stuff is just some, all this old shop plywood that I've had laying around. And then this here, this is a 6-inch flexible duct. It's aluminized. It's really tough stuff. It's really amazing. And then here again, this is the where it plugs into the replacement for the glass. And this one here, this is just a 6-inch adapter, and all I have to do is pull it out. Then I can take this, flatten it out, roll it around, take it somewhere else, and then I just put a plug in this here in my shop window. You can see it's pretty snowy outside. So I'll go ahead and I'll just go ahead and leave it for now. But that's about it. I think it's going to be a really effective tool. It really needs makeup air. That's one thing also I found out. Because the shop is, I built it, it's pretty tight. There's nothing that leaks any air around here. I got very small windows here on this side for heat loss purposes. And other than that, that's about it. I have a man door on this side and a man door over on the other kitty corner. In case something happens in the shop, I have emergency exits to get out. I did crank the fan up, and I actually got a regular manometer, which I had for balancing my HVAC system in my house, or I should say HRV, not HVAC. And I figured, well, I'm going to go ahead and take a look and see what happens when I have the thing running, and then I have opened the door to let some makeup air come in. So that's exactly what I did. I went ahead and took the manometer and I put one probe in here where this tape is, and then left the low side out, just basically ambient air, and I measured in inches of water the difference. And boy, what a difference it was. As soon as I opened the door, it really made a huge difference. It dropped down 1/10 already just from having the door in there. And it's going to exchange air in the shop here pretty quickly. And I went ahead and did kind of a smoke test too. I took a piece of plywood and I just scorched it a bit with the torch, and I had it running, and then I went ahead and did kind of like a smoke test around here, and it took all the fumes out. It wasn't as strong as I thought it was going to be, but it did take all the stuff that's here in the middle when I had the smoke, and it sucked it down in through the shop. And that's all I'm after. I'm not after any dust collection. I'm going for fume elimination. So there's going to be an air exchange process going on. So then I thought, well, if I crack the door in the back, since air has mass, I wondered if there would be any change if I open up one of the windows here closer to the cabinet to see if that would help the airflow at all, because we're moving a mass of air. That didn't have any effect. But what had the most profound effect on the flow of this fan was this tube right here. The straighter that I could get it, I know it has a lot of resistance inside because it is a flexible duct, and I want it that way. I don't have any way to plumb it hard. But the thing is that it had so much resistance in there. The straighter that I got on this, the efficiency went way up. It was 53.53 inches of water difference between the high and low side. With the door closed, it was around 40 once I had the door open in the back for the exchange. And then once I straightened out the tube and I made it a straight shot, it went down to 18. So yeah, it makes a difference. So whenever you go to woodworking sites, they always talk about flow and ducting and everything like that. Well, they're doing it right, I have to admit, because they're running a lot of ducting and they're trying to get the dust out of the shop. So not my goal. It's going to do what I need it to do to eliminate fumes, and I hope something will be something of use to you if you decide to go ahead and build one. Like I said, it's just for painting, not intended for dust elimination or anything like that. It's just intended for basically air exchange in the shop in a directed manner. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed the video.